Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you'll be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. There is the energy that I have left. I put it all in the intro.
Done.
And now it's all gone. Want to say huge thanks to not just the Friendos for joining us on the Twitch for night one of Wrestle Kingdom. Hopefully y'all will return tomorrow night as well, but also, of course, as always, the Enforcer for staying up late. He's got to be heading into work in about 2 hours. Luckily, we get to sleep the majority of the day away. Well, at least I do. Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 is in the books. I mean, it's Wrestle Kingdom. I don't have to say this, but I will. Fantastic show.
Fun show.
You know, it always is. It's always a highlight of the year. Absolutely. Nowadays, it's, of course, 2 nights.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom. You know, the last 2 bouts usually, 2 or 3 bouts, usually the longest matches on the card.
Mm-hmm.
You're already 3, sometimes more than that, hours into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just the pacing of their main event bouts.
Yeah.
So darn good.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like Okada and Ospreay went 35 minutes. Not at all.
No, it didn't. I appreciate the, I mean, that's one thing about living in the COVID era where, they with the, granted, this was obviously not an empty arena show, but 2 hours, shorter shows, it does make it go by a bit more, it's a much easier thing to digest when the individual shows are shorter. I know they did this last year as well. But WWE's been doing the shorter pay-per-views. Like the one pay-per-view, one of the main complaints about the one pay-per-view this year that went long was AEW, largely because it went long. And I mean, there was all sorts of problems with that particular show, but yeah, no, I agree. We have a new double champion in Kota Ibushi, beat Naito in the main event. Okada and Tanahashi shut down the Empire on night 1 with their wins. I mean, not a lot of. I'll say this. I'll get right into this. Predictions wise for night 1, we did pretty darn good.
Oh,
you might even say maybe we know what we're talking about when it comes to New Japan, Larson. Look,
the only one we got wrong was the Ospreay one, and that for me that was a 50-50 thing going into it, because I was just as close to picking Okada to win that match as Ospreay. So yeah, we did okay. We did fine. We got one match wrong.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing though: the New Japan Ranbo, the one thing where you'd think, okay, well these guys don't know what they're talking about. 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, both of us got 3 out of the 4.
We did pretty good. Anyways.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good.
I do want to catch more New Japan this year.
Definitely.
It is something that it's on my radar. But it's sometimes I'll be honest with you, man, sometimes there's more fun coming into things cold. We each did a little bit of research into what's going on. I am actually surprised. To me, Okada Ospreay, I didn't really necessarily see it as being 50-50. I really did think that Ospreay was going to pull that out. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm sure people in the comments will tell me why they wouldn't.
I'm sure part of it too is we're somewhat conditioned still to how WWE approaches their booking, where they want to get stories in and out usually in about 3 months' time. Whereas New Japan, they will take years to tell a story. And yeah, it took years for Will Ospreay to finally get a win over Okada during the G1. He had to turn on to get that win. So my thinking was, all right, well, here's Okada's chance to get back at the heel who did him wrong. And then a year and a half from now, or even next year, the G1, maybe Ospreay get the win back, and it's just an ongoing, game of one-upsmanship over the course of a year or two, before they finally have a major blow-off, maybe for a championship. And maybe at that point, Ospreay will finally get the W to kind of close out the years-long feud.
For me, it's a lot more simple than that. You got this new faction. Ospreay, they have been building for a while now. He made a concerted effort to beef up. He's a big dude now. And he's a pretty damn big name. He made a big commitment a 5-year long commitment to New Japan.
That's how long a story with Okada is going to be.
Yeah, you're probably right. But you got this new faction, and they're 0 for 2 in Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, I mean it's an impetus to build more. But you see what they did with Jay White as well, and maybe some of that had to do with Kenny Omega.
And this is the thing I like about. Sorry to interrupt. The thing I like about New Japan is more than a lot of other promotions, they use losses to tell stories just as much as wins.
Mm-hmm, sure, yeah.
So I'm sure this loss is going to lead to something to Will off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's probably going to lead to a tag match with them and Tanahashi and Okada tomorrow. No,
well,
it's
6th. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. New Year's Dash. It is interesting to see the preceding events, because you mentioned how we are somewhat conditioned to WWE, and absolutely, there's the concept of the stand tall math. Tanahashi, I'll be honest with you, I was more concerned about my pick for, by the way, heading into night 2, I'm down 1 single point.
It all comes down to Evil and Sonata.
I was more concerned with my pick for Great-O-Khan losing to Tanahashi, simply because, in the end, Tanahashi had his moment, absolutely destroying Great-O-Khan at the last thing they did, whatever that was, the Road 2, I guess.
Yeah, on the 23rd, the Road 2 show.
And I was like, okay, well, he got this new guy. He's got like a crazy look, crazy gimmick. Maybe this is going to be like a shock moment. That wasn't even close. And I had chosen Tanahashi because I'm not that stupid, but I did have reservations about that. I had no reservations picking Ospreay, and the guy ended up losing, but in what was clearly the match of the night.
That was a fantastic match.
The main event was really, really terrific, but Okada Ospreay was next level. It really was. But things kicked off in, I guess it's considered the pre-show, the New Japan Ranbo, aka the New Japan Rumble.
Yes.
But this was a very different Ranbo, because it didn't come down to one single winner. It was 22 participants trying to make it to the final 4 to go to the match tomorrow, Fatal 4-Way, to become the new provisional king of pro wrestling for 2021. Did I get that right?
2021. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. I tried to get everybody in the match. We have to go through every elimination.
No, we don't.
No.
We don't.
Because part of it too was the direction for this particular bout was not that great. And so there's several eliminations. I saw someone get eliminated. I don't know by who. Just don't know.
Oh, the TV direction. You're absolutely right. It was kind of crappy.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Hold on, before you start. It was as phoned in as the rest of the participants phoned this in, because look, man, there were some heavy hitters. This was not your typical New Japan Rumble, which we haven't seen in a couple of years, where you'd get guys like, and I know he's in AEW now, but for example, you'd get like a mix of old timers, some random names. Like, I'll never forget the first one that I saw. It had like Cheeseburger, Billy Gunn, but then like Eugene Nagata's in it, and guys like that. This was not a collection of random people. These are all people who mostly people who legitimately could have had matches on the actual card itself.
Yeah. So first 2 in were Chase Owens and Tomohiro Ishii. Next was Minoru Suzuki, Yuji Nagata, and then Hinare, Hiroki Goto, Tokyo Pimp, Yoshihashi, Makabe, Hanma, Tenzan, Rocky Romero, Doki, Sho, Bushi, Tiger Mask, Bad Luck Fale, Gabriel Kidd, Amura, Suji, and Yano. I don't know if that's 22, but those are the ones I managed to write down. The finish was pretty fun, though. So for a while, it was Owens and Fale taking on all the young lions in the match. And then I think Fale, maybe with the help of Owens, eliminated all the young lions. As soon as Bushi got in, he was just more concerned with like just hanging around the ringside area as opposed to actually being in the ring.
Yeah,
he was in the ring for a little bit, eliminated somebody, did a suicide dive.
He was creating a lot of havoc around the ring. Yeah, he had that suicide dive through the second rope, so he wasn't eliminated. He was really giving it to the young lions. He gave it to I forget who towards the finish. He was giving it to somebody else as well.
Yeah. So after Fale and Owens eliminate the young lions, it's Fale, Owens, and Bushi are still in the match. So Fale and Owens are the only two in the ring. Out comes Yano. He's the last entrant. So he has his trophy. He has a chair with his QR code in it. He's coming down the ring. Bushi gets in the ring and is telling the ref, "Hey, we're the final four."
That's it. Yeah.
So Yano makes it to the finals tomorrow without having to step foot in the ring.
He didn't. I don't even think he got past the barricade to ringside. He might have just gotten to the barricade, and then he just starts backing up and he starts raising his hands. So what's funny is that, I mean, the reason why we chose the people that we chose was because this is not like a new thing. Like, this was the people, the Yano was basically fighting Fale and Chase Owens, Road 2 the last time we saw them. I think he finally won, like, he solidified the 2020 King of Pro Wrestling by doing a body slam challenge with Fale, which he ended up winning. It was like a body slam challenge or untie all the ring post padding. The turnbuckle covers. Just absolute ridiculously. I love that Okada created this thing as like some sort of his own version of the 24/7 division, basically, which is great. But they just picked up that particular storyline for the final. The match tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Yano, I mean, if you watch that the match with him and Fale, he was bringing sandbag. He was introducing sandbags into wrestling. At one point the ref was underneath the sandbag and he couldn't get out of it. That was the ref bump. It was all really, really fun stuff.
That's funny. First match of the main card, El Phantasmo versus Hiromu Takahashi. So you got the Super J Cup winner versus the Best Super Juniors winner. Winner of this faces junior heavyweight champion Taiji Ishimori tomorrow. LP was being typical annoying LP early on. Well, he's like throwing the Super J Cup jacket he got all over the place before the match or after the match starts. He rolls out of the ring. He gets the Best Super Junior trophy. He tosses it into like where commentary is, grabs his jacket. He's looking for Liger, and then Time Bomb hits a drop kick off the apron, and then goes right up top, senton down on the floor.
Yeah. And he debuted his music too. That was confirmed.
Yeah. Shortly after that, Takahashi goes for a sunset flip powerbomb. LP escapes that. Hits a sunset flip powerbomb of his own on Takahashi. Follows the moonsault off the top. He takes control for a good while. One common thread throughout this show is people either doing or teasing moves of former Bullet Club members.
Yeah.
So during the course of this match, LPT's Kenny's Terminator Tope. He tried for a one-winged angel. He hit a Styles Clash, I believe.
And a V-trigger, yeah.
Yes.
We had a ref bump, and LP hits Ticking Time Bomb square in the junk, which is great. He focuses a lot of his offense oftentimes. He had Ticking Time Bomb in the Tree of Woe. He put his foot on the junk. And then, when we got a ref bump, punched him right in the dick. He hit it, like you said, he hit a Styles Clash. He got a V-trigger. He goes for CR2, but then Takahashi rolled through that for a 3. So it's obvious, dude. It's obvious that they're high on El Phantasmo. I guess this is a way to sort of protect him a bit. Although, I mean, I don't know, since New Japan's been really high on protecting guys in a match as high profile as this. I mean, this is eating a loss here is really not that big of a deal. But
no, if you eat a loss to the eventual champion, probably.
Yeah.
After that, tag title match, Guerrillas of Destiny, who have never won the tag belts of Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
Against Dangerous Tekkers.
What'd you think of Guerrillas of Destiny's ring attire, man?
I liked the Tonga Loa. It looked like he was from the future. It was silver, and like kind of like an olive green, like padding on the chest and whatnot in detail. And Tama had I think black, and then a dark green color as well.
Yeah.
Tonga Loa had like silver or gloves as well.
Yeah.
He looked very futuristic, and whenever you have gear that looks very futuristic, I'm into that.
It's good stuff.
I mean, it's like 60s version of futuristic. I said it was like something a character in Barbarella might have wore, but I still liked it.
Yep.
So, anyways, this is a fun enough match. Again, ref bump towards the end led to the finish. So, Doki, how do you pronounce his name?
Doki.
I had it right the first time when I was talking about the New Japan Rumble. Then
Doki's funnier.
Yeah, it's not right though.
Yeah.
So he's around. Yes, around ringside. He introduces the old Iron Glove that gosh, what was his name? He's in Suzuki Gun 2. Izuka.
Yeah,
Used to have. Guerrillas of Destiny get their hands on it. So Taichi gets hit with the Iron Glove, and then Tonga Loa hits his finish like a sit-down tombstone type deal to get the W.
Yeah, Guerrillas of Destiny. After that, we had Mox showed up via video promo from wherever they were filming Strong. Were they filming that at the LA Dojo, or was it an actual like a venue? I don't know where they shot that. Anyways, Mox had a promo. Didn't he call himself the Boogeyman in this?
Something like that.
And he basically said it doesn't matter what happens with the contract. I'm coming for you. It's a Mox promo.
Yeah, pretty short. After that, U.S. title briefcase match. Kojima versus Kenta.
In our lock of the night.
Yeah. Kenta did like a lot of stalling, and for some reason, Tenzan ended up being a distraction to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I felt like he was more concerned with everything else that's going on around him rather than just focusing on beating Kojima.
Yeah, it's because he knew that he could do that pretty easily, which he did with
probably. And I guess also they didn't want to just have like a 1.5 minute squash match or something like that.
Right, right, yeah.
Kojima, he's a former heavyweight champ.
Yeah,
so he's got a great legacy in New Japan. So you don't want to disrespect that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some decent back and forth in here. In the end, though, Kenta hits a couple of running knees, goes for a go to sleep. Kojima elbows out, goes for a clothesline. Kenta slaps the hell out of him, hits another running knee, gets a 2, follows that with a go to sleep for the win. We did get to see Kojima do that flurry of quick chops that he does.
That's always fun.
Love that.
That's always fun.
Remember the first time I saw that, the first time we watched Wrestle Kingdom, he was in the New Japan Rumble.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Did that for the first time.
Yeah.
And I laughed. And I thought that's the greatest thing ever. I'm happy to see Kojima so he can do that.
That, or what was it? Who was it? Was it Yuji Nagata? Who had the shirt?
Yeah.
Yuji Nagata, right? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he didn't have that this year, but yeah, he used to have his face on the inside of his shirt and he'd pull it up over his face, but it was his face on his face.
It's man, whenever you can experience something new in pro wrestling, it doesn't matter what Wrestle Kingdom we watch these days, nothing will beat that first one. Nothing will beat that first one.
I know. After that, Great Okan making his Wrestle Kingdom debut versus Go Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Great
more.
Okan has a very interesting style.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the ring, like some of the stuff, especially early on that he was doing, it reminded me. Remember that bit from was it Total Bellas, where Daniel Bryan was talking about how he wanted
that's
to
a good
wrestle
comparison.
Brock Lesnar
As an animal, like animal moves.
Yeah, that's what Daniel Bryan compared it. And that's not necessarily the exact movements that Great Okan was doing, but it was something outside of the ordinary.
Yeah,
like how he was moving along the mat early on and stuff. It was interesting.
Yeah, no, dude, you're totally onto something. I mean, it fits in with he's got the teeth, the spiked teeth thing. I mean, he's definitely an oddity of a character. And yeah, all the sliding, the slithering on the ground and stuff. Yeah, no, I could totally see that.
So, I mean, like, I feel like they're, granted, he's just off excursion. I believe he was in Rev Pro. Like there's aspects of the gimmick and his character, and I think his in-ring work that are interesting. Give it a couple years time, see how it all comes together. When Jay White debuted at the Switchblade, it's like, okay, here's the interesting premise. I know the dude can wrestle. Let's see how it comes together.
And it's come along brilliantly, yeah.
Exactly. Once it's all come together, like he's one of, if not the best heel in wrestling right now.
It's a stronger, I'll say this, it's a stronger start coming off excursion than we have seen with some other people, like Watto, for example. Like, Master Watto. I'm not really feeling that too much. I mean, for the limited stuff that I've seen of him. Maybe I'll be turned around tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it's a great design for the character, and he seems to have, I'll put it this way, I think he has a stronger grasp on it than we saw from Jay White when he first was Switchblade. It's just Jay White is just a really, really good wrestler. Like, he already had it in ring before he came back as Switchblade. I mean, you and I both saw him in a couple matches before.
PWG match, yeah.
And he was
had
a
a match
standout.
at one of the Ring of Honor shows we watched. Yeah,
he was a real standout. But yeah, no, he's off to a really great start. But this is the ace we're talking about here. 2 high fly flows did the trick.
Yeah, we kind of called that too. Yeah, once Tanahashi got a hold of Great-O-Khan's knee, started working over that, hitting a couple or a dragon screw leg whip. That's really what turned the tide in typical Tanahashi fashion. Once he started doing those dragon screw leg whips, you got trouble. At one point, Great-O-Khan brings a chair into the ring, acts like he's about to do like an iron claw choke slam type deal on it. Tanahashi escapes that. He picks up the chair. He thinks about for a second, am I going to, beat Great-O-Khan up with the chair like he did a couple weeks ago? No, he tosses it out.
Well, the great thing about that segment too was that he was so overboard in teasing that he was going to do it, and then he tosses it away as if it was never even a thought. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the ace. This is Wrestle Kingdom. I don't need this."
Completely dismissive.
Yeah, exactly, dismissive.
Hits a dragon suplex. That gets him a 2 count. Goes up top. Hits a high fly flow to Great-O-Khan's back. Great-O-Khan turns over. Another high fly flow to the chest to get the W. It's Wrestle Kingdom. Tanahashi was going to get that one.
After that, we had Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay, match of the night easily.
Oh yeah.
And there was just some really, really great sequences in this. I mean, all the you said this went 35 minutes.
I think they said it about 35 minutes.
Man, yeah, there were just so many great sequences, so many attempts at os cutters and rainmakers. Again with this, we saw Ospreay hit a phenomenal forearm. Some more Bullet Club shouts there. And like one of the most devastating rainmakers I've seen. Like Ospreay sold the crap out of it in the end, but both these guys, of course. I mean, Ospreay came out. I don't know. I mean, I've not been watching his entrances lately, but his entrance gear was absolutely top notch. He looked like $1 million. Him and
Okada. His ring gear was made kind of the same material that his robe was last year. It just had a different pattern on it. I think it was like world flags.
Oh,
really small,
okay.
all over the place.
Yeah, that could be.
I think someone mentioned in chat, and it looked like that's what it was.
He's got a new T-shirt. I mean, we could probably look it up close because I think his new T-shirt. I think you were gone when they showed it. Like they did a commercial for the shop. It's very cool because it's very non-wrestling. It's like a white shirt with like a rectangle block on it that just says, I think, Okada in the middle. But I think it has the same pattern. It might be all flags. I don't know. I didn't get a look close enough look to it.
Okay. So it's that same kind of iridescent, reflective type material as last year. Just a new pattern. He had new. I mean, Okada's ring gear at Wrestle Kingdom is always noteworthy because they always bust out something incredible.
Oh man, yeah.
And this was no different. He had some red and gold shorts he was wearing.
Looked great.
Incredible. Ospreay's ring gear looked great. But yeah, a lot of really great back and forth throughout this match. Took it to the floor a bunch.
Yeah, the suplex onto the table. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Barely broke.
That was rough. So there's a prolonged stretch, like Okada's been using that money clip finish for a while, which is like a $1 million dream, Cobra Clutch type deal. And there's a couple good sequences where you lock it on, hit a move, go back to it, hit another move, lock it back on. Ospreay would always find a way to escape, and that's when Okada started busting out the Rainmakers, doing the old school one where he's doing the 360, doing a couple short arm ones, not the full ripcord variety. But it took one of those at the end for Okada to finally get the win. Really stellar match. 4 days into 2021, early contender for match of the year.
Yeah, I gave this one 5 stars.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really good.
It's a lot of stars.
Really good.
I gave it right there.
That is a lot of stars.
Another one I gave.
5-star match of 2021.
You heard it here first. Another really stellar match with plenty of stars to it, but not quite as many as Okada Ospreay was. The main event, Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi for all the gold, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship.
Correct.
Of course, both these guys just going after necks, man.
It didn't take Naito long to go after Kota Ibushi's neck. It was probably within the first 2 minutes of the match. But we knew that was going to be his game plan because we've seen like a lot of their other matches. I mean, one of their matches in the past featured a pile driver off the second rope.
That popped you.
One of their matches,
that popped you so hard.
One other of their matches saw Kota Ibushi get suplexed on the very corner of the apron and his neck bend a weird way.
Jesus God, I remember
That's
that.
the story. That's the story for these two. They go after each other's neck.
Yeah.
Early on, this bit was great. I was not expecting this. So they're jockeying for position on the apron, and Kota Ibushi hits a Hurricane Rana on Naito and flings him off the apron onto the floor, and Naito's legs bang against the barricade.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, where am I here?
Well, I got Ibushi. He tried to go for one of those German suplexes. Now, Naito barely beats the count there.
Yes.
A little while after that, Ibushi goes for one of those, powerlifting German suplexes over the top rope from the apron. Yeah. But Naito counters with like a ton of European uppercuts, and then he ends up hitting a Poison Rana off off
the top rope too.
Yeah, off the top rope. Yeah. I mean, early on, yeah. I mean, even like in the first couple minutes, like you said, he was going after his neck. Ibushi basically got dropped on the top of his head up on the ramp or something earlier.
Oh yeah,
on.
The German suplex on the foot of the ramp. Yeah, and then Naito kept on hitting forearms and elbows to Ibushi's neck. So there's Poison Rana. Later on, Kota turns tables with some head kicks. Looks for a Kamigoye. Naito counters with Destino, gets to 2, goes for another one. Kota catches him, hits like a dude buster type deal. They're both selling. They get up. They start trading blows. Naito hits a kick. Kota responds with the lariat, spirit bomb, Kamigoye. Naito kicks out. So Kota goes up top, goes for a Phoenix Splash, his old finish. He misses that. Naito hits Destino, another 2 count. Goes for another Destino. Kota blocks that. Naito hits him with a bunch of elbows. And then Kota responds with a head kick. Hits another Kamigoye. Naito kicks out again.
Super close too on that one, yeah. Then Kota Ibushi takes down his knee pad, goes for a third one, but he's countered by Naito, goes for Destino, and then eventually Ibushi hits his third Kamigoye for 3 and the win. And the great
he hit a V trigger before that last Kamigoye.
And so you had noted right when the finish started to rev up that Ibushi sort of started to show signs of trance Ibushi when he sort of leaves himself and he goes into that trance state. Well, the great thing about that is that finish came pretty quickly after that. But he sort of comes to and tries to pin Ibushi again after he had already won.
Naito.
I'm sorry, Naito. Ibushi tries to pin Naito. He sort of like looks around and he like looks at Naito and he goes and tries to pin him again. And it was a great moment. Red Shoe says, no, you already won. You're good. And so Naito grabs both the belts, and Ibushi sort of walks up to him very sheepishly, and he's just looking at him. Naito hands him over, says, "I'm going on vacation," Ibushi's new champion.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool moment where he kind of comes to and goes for the cover again, and then once Red Shoe says, "No, you won," that's when the emotion started coming out of Ibushi.
It was a terrific moment. So then Dickhead Jay White shows up. And he gets on the mic and he runs him down. I mean, doesn't say anything too revelatory. He says, no matter how high you climb, I'm going to be there to bring you back down. Everybody knows I'm the real champion. It's my destino to become God. And then I cut it off here. I just said when he becomes champion. I don't know what he said after that.
That's pretty much it. I suppose Kota for the fraud he is, or reach for the heights. I'll be the champ. Jay White says, "I'll fulfill my destino and become God." He leaves. Ibushi grabs the mic. Chris Charlton was
translating.
Yes, thank you. Gosh, I'm tired. As he was giving his promo, more or less said, "Hey, my reign's going to last longer than a day." So he thanks Naito for the match. Thanks everyone for being there, and says he's gonna keep all the titles tomorrow.
If anybody here in our Twitch chat has some quick questions, we'll see what we can do about answering them.
Sure.
Maggie gifted a bunch of subs here. Thanks so much, Maggie, to Akira L. Jorgastador, ML Murillo, Texicano, and Polly424. Thank you so much.
Several are saying here that Kenny congratulated Kota Ibushi on Twitter.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and then Peter Raker here confirms Okada did have flags on him. So there you go. So yeah, if anybody has questions, we'll answer them. Yeah, like we said, so tomorrow, Big Gold pretty much comes down to Evil versus Sonata. If Evil wins, then I have Big Gold. I think the only other option I have is maybe to tie, which of course, a tie you still retain. So it's pretty much Evil wins, or I have to live to fight another day, I guess.
Yes.
Hellbringer Johnny says, I'll probably catch some flack for this, but this is the first time since I saw shaven Tama Tonga with short hair. I couldn't help but think that both the Tongans look like they could be the brothers of Cedric Alexander. That's interesting.
Dom Hines asked, what will be the match of the night tomorrow?
It's a stack show. So the most physical really match tomorrow's got to be Cobb versus
Takagi. Yeah,
Takagi. That's going to be a killer match. But like Ishimori, I get the feeling that the Ticking Time Bomb versus LP wasn't the most. It wasn't the most like high pay, like a quickly paced match.
Well,
I get the feeling tomorrow we're going to get that double speed.
I think both Time Bomb and Ibushi. We're saving some of the tank for tomorrow night.
For sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Now, Jay White doesn't typically work a terribly fast pace. He's very meticulous.
Sure, yeah.
So we'll be interested to see how Ibushi works with all that. But yeah, Ishimori versus Takahashi tomorrow is going to be a mile
a minute for sure.
Super fast.
Yeah.
I think Evil and Sonata has the chance to be really good. There's a lot of emotion there.
I'll catch Fleck for this. I've never been excited for an Evil match.
I haven't really either, but I like Sonata a lot.
I like Sonata a lot, but I'm not sure I've ever actually been excited for a Sonata match either. I'm sure they'll prove me wrong because this is like a blood feud happening right now. So that might be like, the match that I'm kind of like, I'm looking forward to just because I really want Evil to win so that I can get Big Gold back. But beyond that, I think they're going to tear the house down. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so.
This is like the first time I've actually been into like one of their matches.
Yeah. So, yeah, and who knows what they're going to do with this King of Pro Wrestling 4-way. That could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a lot of fun.
Robert Channels, I'm trying to figure out what this means. After party in Atlanta when Jay White wins, only place didn't close their clubs. Oh, Atlanta didn't close their clubs? Ew.
Oh.
Let's see here. Robert Channels also mentioned Guerrillas of Destiny walking through the crowd after their victory. Even though Japan is like on super lockdown right now.
Yeah.
Probably a bad move.
Metal Geek says, what surprises are in store for New Year's Dash?
I feel like the Empire, if Empire walks away with no victories at Wrestle Kingdom, they need to do something. They need to make a big split. It's time to panic. It's time to panic for the Empire.
Hit the panic button. Make a splash. Either bring in
Goldberg.
Okay. At the very least, Ospreay, I imagine, is going to give each member of the Empire a bit of a tongue lashing.
He has no place to do that. He lost to Okada.
There's no shame in losing to Okada. Okada's the best wrestler in the whole world.
There's no shame in losing to the Ace either. There's not much shame in losing to Shingo.
No, there's not. But Ospreay, he's a heel. It's not outside the norm for a heel leader of a faction, despite losing, to cast blame on everybody else.
That's going to be the big. I feel like he needs to look. He's going to cast blame. Yeah,
no,
sure.
I'm saying that's the minimum. But yes, they need to make a splash if they want to make an impact.
At Dash, he brings in, somebody to toughen them up to prepare them for they're trying too much too early is the problem. You're going to debut at Wrestle Kingdom against Tanahashi. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Debut against Goto. He's the perfect guy to debut against.
Hey, Great Okan, maybe win the New Japan Rumble.
Do that. Goto was literally wearing a shirt and basketball shorts.
Well, that's what he normally wears. But yeah, it was like Kenny when he was doing the tag matches at the house shows. He just wears t-shirt the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Chances. Oh, Hellbringer Johnny. Chances of Murder Grandpa Suzuki showing up tomorrow. Nil.
Unless he walks down to the ring with Suzuki-gun for their junior heavyweight tag match.
Who was he? He was going at it against Nagata tonight, right? They've had a thing though lately, haven't they? So they could be like the new 24/7 division. They'll come running through, just chopping each other,
brawling and fighting each other. Yes. Yeah. Entirely possible.
Yeah. Anyways, looks like even live chat is tired right now, so we're gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We will be live tomorrow on the Twitch starting at midnight Pacific, 3 Eastern. 8 a.m. UK time for Wrestle Kingdom Night 2. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.